very warm welcome to TotallyShopping.tv. My name's Anushka Williams, and this is the home of a very unique internet shopping experience where you can see, choose and enjoy. And you'll never guess who I've got for you to enjoy today. It's our Gazza! Hello, Gazza.
Yeah, what a pleasure.
First, I've seen you many times.
I know, and you always turn the TV off usually, don't you?
Prolific. I have to say, prolific personality. But it's lovely to see you, and we've got some collectibles.
Yeah, well, obviously, as you say, you know, with TotallyShopping.tv, it's a new sort of quite unique concept because I know they're trying to encourage sort of, you know, new businesses and people with innovation who are doing well, maybe want the opportunity to showcase their wares and things.
It's a great idea.
So it's a bit different to the normal, and obviously it's being an internet shopping platform, it means you can obviously watch it literally all over the world. So
and wherever you are as well, which is nice. So you can be sort of on the move and shopping, and also there's a really nice catch-up feature as well, because obviously you can watch it while we're going, but if maybe you've been working or you've been out and about and you haven't managed to catch something that you really would like to see, you can actually just catch up whenever you want. So what have we got coming up in this show then? Well,
this particular one is a real winner. You'll be roaring away because it's Formula One collectibles.
Love it.
And obviously we have a good mix, you know. We will also have other items, so you should check around the website for that. But basically this is a good mix of some signed items and different price points for you, looking at some real treasures and some of the more affordable signed photos and things. The great thing is about anything we bring you here on this channel is the background, the provenance, you know, which is key with collectibles.
And this is what you know all about, isn't it, Gaz? Because you've got, obviously your background is in collectibles. Yeah,
sure. The key thing is if you're going to pay, you know, if you're buying something blind, for example, on the internet, it's the old adage, how do you know it's genuine? You know, it's not only designer clothing. Well, what we do, the people we work with are normally members of the UACC or AFTAL, which is the, if you like, the #1 in the industry, and they actually authenticate everything. And even people like the police and the trading standards, insurance companies, use them to authenticate the material. So if it's got their name on it, to be honest, it doesn't come any better.
So you must have seen all sorts of things. We could do a whole new show, couldn't we, on things that you've seen?
That's right, and what's supposed to be right and what ain't supposed to be right. But it's amazing, and sadly, like anything, with the huge development of collectibles and the, you know, the huge ascent, some of them go for very, you know, big money now, massive interest in it. So inevitably, sadly, it invites those who, you know, who aren't too nice and start hitting out all the fakes.
Well, should we have a look at some not fakes, some genuine collectibles, these really signed, glossy photos? We're going to start with, well, could he be the world champion again this year?
It's beginning to look that way. He's got a good chance, isn't he? Yeah. And I mean, he's been world champion the last 2 years, hasn't he, I think?
He has, yeah, 2 years, but can he do it consecutively? That's the thing, isn't it, really?
Well, it is. I mean, obviously at the time here, you know, he's looking quite likely, isn't he? He's certainly in there with a shout, as they say. But Lewis Hamilton is very popular in the industry, obviously for British people particularly, but worldwide there's a big interest in Lewis Hamilton, you know.
Well, I think he's kind of the personality face of Formula One, isn't he? He's kind of the very glossy, he's quite pretty. He's quite easy on the eye, isn't he?
He speaks highly of you as well, you know, I heard him.
The thing is, you know, he's quite pretty, but he can be a bit turbulent in driving. He's quite an exciting driver to watch.
I think that in any sport, you know, I was a rugby player. I know you have to tell with my little tennis shape, but, you know, I was a rugby player, surprise. But I think when you play sport, you know, I'm a complete pussycat off it, but when I play sport, you play to win.
Yes.
And he's a winner.
He is.
You know, and he has that passion and that dedication. He wants to go and win. And to me, that's the sign of those that do and those that don't. You know? And he's right up there in that. You know,
and I think actually, Gaz, if he wins this year, it could be 4 times that he's won, but it will be 3 times consecutively, which is actually it's quite an amazing thing, isn't it?
It is. It's phenomenal. It's just incredible. And to be honest, anything with his signature on is very well sought after. I mean, with these photographs today, they will actually come with a certificate of authenticity. They'll also come with a lifetime lifetime guarantee. It'll have the AFTAL name and the USCC name behind it, you know.
Right.
So basically, you can't go wrong. And and also with these, it can tell you where it was signed and when it was signed. So it takes away all the doubts and the worries. You get that, and you know you've got the real McCoy.
And I suppose, you know, Formula One is quite a prestigious sport, isn't it? So it might be a lot of these drivers. They don't live near here, obviously.
No,
they
sure.
travel. I mean, he lives abroad, and it might be hard to get them because they're travelling a lot. And access to them, is it easy to get these autographs?
Well, I'd never be able to get them. A pretty girl like you know, you often see them trying to get around the pits, you know. But it's you'd have a lot more chance than I have, that's for sure. You know, I can imagine what message I'd get, you know. But it probably
we should go out there and try.
Yeah, we could try. But no, you're quite right. Basically, they travel the world. They Grand Prix all over the world. So during the season, they're almost completely you know, you can't get near them because when they're not travelling, they're training or, you know, practicing or whatever, and then another couple of days they're in the Grand Prix again.
It's mad,
so they're
isn't
really
it?
hard to get at. I mean, someone like Lewis Hamilton does seemingly know how to enjoy life when he's not playing. You see him at the premieres and the various events, and he knows how to boogie, which is great. You know, I think he seems to have got the balance.
He'll rival
right.
you with his move. Now then, let me tell you what this is. Lewis Hamilton, action photo, personally signed, and the item number that you'll need is 100078, £125, and actually in the scheme of things, you know, he's quite notorious in his sport, isn't he? I don't think that's half bad, really. And if you do want to get this, of course, you click on the buy button, which is on your screen, and then once you've actually checked out of your basket, you've got to check out, otherwise it's not yours until you've done that. Then you will get a confirmation email saying that it's on its way, and you can even track your item, which is brilliant.
That's right, it is. It's great. And that's the good thing about it, you know, as soon as you press that button, because you make the fatal mistake. Also with collectibles, you've got to be so careful, because if you're sitting with it, just sitting with your basket, messing around, doing something, if you're not careful, when you go to buy it, it'll be sold out.
Oh no,
because they don't have big stocks of a lot of these items, obviously, you know. Often they're just a handful, and once they're gone, there's no guarantee, as you quite rightly said, because they're travelling away, that you can get that replaced. It might be 6 months or a year before you can get another one.
So take heed. Shall we move on then from Lewis Hamilton to Sebastian Vettel? I mean, in his own right, really notorious in the sport. This is personally signed. 100079 is your item number. £97.99. I'm quite enjoying how the prices vary for the drivers.
Yeah, I think it's just like a lot of things, really. It depends a little bit, dare I say, how difficult they are. You know, obviously Lewis Hamilton at the moment is extremely popular anyway.
Just to get your autograph, what we're talking about, £1,000, Gaz?
About 1,000 Turkish lira, I think, which is about tuppence, isn't it? Yeah. Actually, I know a story. I'd like to say it on the screen because she'll kill me, but quite a well-known female presenter, and I know it's not Anushka, by the way, but she is a very famous presenter. She told me that she looked on a famous website once and they had 2 signed pictures of her, and the highest bid was £1.
No.
So she said, I couldn't resist. I was so insulted, I bought them for a tenner
Nikki,
myself.
how are you doing?
Yeah, so I bought them for myself. You know? Anyway, but yeah, it's but it is. I mean, getting these autographs is geared around how difficult they are, the demand, etc. But they all vary slightly. There's not a huge difference unless it's maybe someone who's more of a vintage one, which would be harder to get.
And quite a celebratory shot as well, this one, isn't it? He's got the champagne. I mean, what a waste of champagne.
Well, it is. I was always taught, I mean, I don't look like a champagne drinker, but I was always taught that, you know, you should always hold your glass there at least, you know.
Exactly.
But that's right, to fire champagne all over you.
But it's the opulence, isn't it, of Formula One?
I know.
It's the opulence.
It's all part of the fun. Well, it's like they do in any sport. If they win, they throw it around and drench the manager or something, you know. So it is. I suppose it's part of the fun and that sort of passion when you've won. Yeah, you know what I mean?
And like you say, you play rugby and you like to win. You're not about coming second. You want to win.
Yeah.
And they've all got that fighting spirit, haven't they?
Well, they have to, because to be honest, if you don't, they're not at the top. To be at the top, I think, in any sport, you've got to really, really want to win. You've got to be really focused, really determined, and almost slightly aggressive as well, because if you're not aggressive, you ain't going to win. You know, if I sort of pulled a face at someone on the rugby pitch, there was a chance it might get out of the way. Oh my God, it's coming again, Harry the Hippo. You know, but never mind.
But I mean, amazing this to have on your wall, don't you think? And a very unique gift opportunity. £97.99. Sebastian Vettel action photo personally signed. If you'd like to get this, just click on the buy button on your screen. Check out your basket and then it will be yours. And then of course you'll get the confirmation email and then you can very cleverly track your parcel as well, so you know when it's going to get to you. Moving on then, Fernando Alonso action photo personally signed. You can see there he sat in his car and it's signed at the side. You know, some people might like this because some people obviously you like watching the racing. Some people obviously are fascinated by the cars and the technology and just how you need to conserve energy in your tyres. It's all about the tyres, I'm learning.
It is, yeah. It's amazing, isn't it? And I mean, at the end, I mean, I think probably Formula One, it's such a dangerous sport, but it's probably the least dangerous it's ever been because this sheer, you know, with the way they've got everything going now with the cars and the safety, it's probably a much, much safer sport than it was. Fortunately, you don't hear quite so many tragedies as you did. You go back 20 years ago and all that. It was terrible. But when you're racing around that speed, I mean, and you don't even have a quarter of a second. You make a mistake and you've had it, haven't you?
Well,
really,
this is it. And I think it's, you know, sort of up to 100 and something miles an hour. And you see them collide with a barrier and they just get out and walk out. I can't believe
it's
it,
amazing, isn't it? That's right. It is fascinating. But I mean, it's incredible sport and it's a worldwide sport, you know. Obviously, people are really passionate about Formula One as well. I mean, you meet people and, you know, I've spoken about things, they actually, you're wrong there. They know it, when they know it inside out, you know. And they love, you know, they really love the sport. I mean, it is a massive phenomenon in its own right, isn't it, Formula One?
Yes.
And those that, you know, those that are really, really into it, they know everything about it. Every driver, how many races they've won, where they won, you know, it is amazing. I've had the pleasure many times to meet, he was an old famous driver called John Surtees.
Oh, right.
And John Surtees is in the world of Formula One and in bikes, he's actually probably an icon because he's the only person who's ever been world champion of bikes and of cars.
Oh, really?
Formula One cars, yeah. So he's quite a character. And he's obviously, dare I call, an elder statesman now. But when you talk to him, he's full of stories and loves chatting about his life, you know. But although he wasn't, you know, world champion many times, only the once, he's actually the only person that has ever won both.
Oh, really?
And so he's actually in big demand for you know, interviews and stuff about it.
Do you know, it's funny that you say that because I was doing a little bit of reading on Alonso and basically he also is very passionate about road bicycle racing as well, so they've got a little bit go. I could see where you were linking there,
Yeah, there is a few of them that are into that a bit, but I didn't realise that actually. I believe I'm not sure, but I believe he's the only Spanish Formula One driver ever. I'm not sure if it's a recent one.
I know that he's the only Spanish driver to win Formula One Grand Prix.
Yeah, sure.
What it's all about, and he's two
probably.
times double world champion as well.
Yeah, again, he's you know, very popular. The fans like him a lot as well. He's one that I get requested for quite a bit.
Is he?
You know.
So you get people coming to you with a list?
Yeah, people saying, can you get him? He's one of those names that crops up. He's obviously very, very popular.
Yes.
You know, it's like a lot of them, they get people they're not so keen on.
Yes.
If you're too good and you're, like, if you're patriotic, whatever country you live in, you know what I mean? But, you know, you probably love your own driver.
Yeah.
But if you've got somebody else who's very, very good, the best you're going to do is respect them.
Yeah.
You might respect him, but he's certainly going to love him.
But he commands respect, doesn't he? I'll give you the details that you need if you want to buy this one. Fernando Alonso action photo personally signed. The item number that you need is 100080. $79.99 is your price. Click on the buy button. Like I said, check out your baskets because otherwise it's not yours until you've done that. Once you've actually bought it, you'll receive a confirmation email, and then of course you can track your delivery, which is quite exciting, particularly if you're waiting for it for a birthday or in the run up to Christmas or whatever. You know that you're going to get it in time. But $79.99, and who knows what he's going to do with his career as well. So you never know, this could gain in value, couldn't it, Gaz?
It could, for sure. I mean, what often happens, I mean, I always believe you should buy something because you love it, you know? But certainly over the last decade, a lot of collectibles and items like this, the predecessors, have actually gone up considerably in value.
Yeah.
Because what you've got, more and more people are getting, maybe they've got the opportunity, maybe they've got a bit more money, they can do it, but what they really want is to build a collection of something they love and enjoy. You know, whereas I was a kid, people might collect stamps, they collect coins, they collect cigarette cards, they collect model cars. Now a lot of people collect a subject.
Yes.
Formula One, or, you know, wrestling, boxing,
so
whatever
we're
it
giving
is.
them the opportunity to bother.
Yeah, but they want everything to do with it, so the prices start to creep up. Anything where it's genuinely signed and you can prove it is always going to be very, very desirable.
Oh, that's well worth knowing. So we're going to move on from Span. Oh, should we have one more look at this then? Just to remind you, Fernando Alonso action photo, personally signed, 100,080, 79.99 is your price. I think a very reasonable price for a world champion. So from Spanish, we move on to British. It's Jenson Button.
Yeah, I have actually met Jenson Button.
What's he
He's a
like?
lovely
Is he
guy,
nice?
really nice guy. I bumped into him in Guernsey. I think he was living there then. I don't know if he still does. But he was just, you walk in a pub or a restaurant and he's there, you know.
Yeah.
And so was Jenson Button. Oh, yeah. And they introduced me. And he was a really nice guy. I'd like to just talk to someone, you know.
Is he quite tall? Is he quite short? I always wonder.
He's quite tall. I mean, he was sat down most of the time, so he's short.
Yeah.
But he is... Yeah, I don't think many of the drivers are that tall.
I suppose you can't be, can
no,
you, really?
if you're a 6'5", I should imagine it'd be quite difficult.
Your feet
with a
might be
car.
hanging out the end.
It's like
Not
me,
very
if you're my
aerodynamic.
width, you'd need like 4 shoe-ons to get in the car, you know what I mean? Once you got in it, you'd never get out.
I mean, so he won, didn't he? Jenson Button in 2009. I remember his dad, no longer with us, but he was with him when he won. And I remember that moment. I remember seeing his dad looking at him, and it always stay with me because I watched Formula One, and I remember that moment. It was so touching.
Oh, yeah. It would do me if, you know, I'd probably be a mass of tears. I'm the biggest marshmallow, anyone who knows me, that God ever creates. If you put a weepy movie on, you know, like, I used to go to the cinema with my wife and she'd be giving me the tissue, saying,
Really?
grow up, what's the matter with you, you know? and I'm terrible, the most weepy. But yeah, something like that, I'd be inconsolable, you know.
Yeah.
I used to go and see the kids in, you know, concert and things you do at school. And I go, yeah, nice, you know.
Can
and
I
they
ask,
go, behave, you know.
Can I ask, if somebody, because Jenson Button is going to be retiring at the end of this season, what would that do to the price of a signature, the price of a signed photo?
Well, because it's the last ever year, if he has a particularly successful year as well, the value of that would soar.
Right.
Quite honestly, or based on past performance, it would soar. Because if it's the last year he was riding, which it is anyway, people always want the beginning and the end of a career. They have a thing about that. So if it's his last ever season, that photograph, for example, coming out now of the last year of his thing, and you could say he signed it in his last year, that would add to the value or the demand, because you could say, well, that's the last ever year. He drove that car in his last year of driving.
Yeah.
So it's very significant, you know. Sort of dates and things like that are always very important to people. You know, if you say, well, that's the first ever Grand Prix, that's going to be more valuable than the 5th Grand Prix win, say, or something like that, you know.
So is he probably, because you were talking about people having strong personalities when they're in Formula One, and that arrogance that kind of comes with the sport, really, because you've got to have that mentality almost to a certain degree. But I never see that so much with Jenson Button. He's always stopping on the grid for interviews and he's always talking to people. Yeah,
he always seems a very, very nice guy, basically. You know, I agree, he always seems just like, you know, a lovely, lovely guy. And I believe he is as well, that's what I've been told. But inside, maybe hidden a bit deeper, is that competitive edge to going to get you, baby. Because if he didn't, he wouldn't win.
It's true,
so it's
you've got to have
there,
that to be a winner. Shall I give you the details that you need in case you want to buy this then? If you click on the buy button, the item code that you need is 100081. Jenson Button action photo, personally signed. You can see he's there in his car. He's signed it there. $79.99. Of course, he is retiring at the end of this season. So what is that going to do to the personal value of something like this? And of course, once you clicked on the buy button, do check out your basket. Only on doing that is it yours. And then, of course, you'll get the confirmation email and then you can track your delivery. So let's move on then. More Formula One for you. Ferrari Framed Gibraltar exclusive. It's a Ferrari pair of commemorative covers. This is quite a striking thing, isn't it, Gaz?
This actually comes framed and mounted, ready to just hang on your wall.
Yeah.
Some of the collectors will know this was produced by Benham, who are a big name in this industry, been around for over 50 years. Basically, what you've got is two. These are genuine official postage stamps produced by Gibraltar. And what you've got, they've got the covers, two different covers with different illustrations of Ferrari, and they've actually got the full set of all the postage stamps. So if you went to Gibraltar, where someone we know well actually hangs out now, you could in effect take those stamps and put them on your mail. They are official licensing endorsed postage stamps. In this format, they're what's called a commemorative cover. So it was like a first day cover. On the day those stamps were launched to the marketplace in the world, that cover was produced with the postmark of the first day of issue. So it all adds to the collectability or the relevance of it. And in fact, what you've got is two different illustrations that were produced of Ferrari on that day. So they're actually very, 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 very collectible. But you'll get stamp collectors worldwide will be collecting that, and you'll get Formula One and Ferrari collectors.
So there's two tiers of collectors.
Yeah, you've got different types of collectors will be looking for that. But it's something very different, but very, very affordable. I mean, the frame would probably cost you that £30 just to put it in the frame.
But £38.50.
So it is. I think it's a great price point, and you hit the nail on the head. Hang it on the wall, it looks great.
Yeah, I mean, it's striking. Like you say, if you're into stamps, you'd like this. If you're into Formula One, you would like this. And also there's a staunch Ferrari following, people that are just into Ferrari, the car, the technology. That's
right. There'll be people who collect nothing but Ferrari, and there's a lot of them. And that particular item would appeal immensely because it is pure Ferrari. It's officially licensed and endorsed and supported by Ferrari. And obviously it's Gibraltar's way of honouring the brand, if you like, producing those two commemorative covers. So you've got, like, as you said, the stamp collectors, and you've got the Formula One collectors, and you have those who just collect Ferrari. But it's a great item, very, very affordable, and we're just ready to put on your wall.
How hard is it for us to get something like this, Gazza? Because I've not seen anything like this before.
No, it's some of them. A lot of these are this particular one isn't, but a lot of them are limited editions. 500, maybe 1,000 top whack. Some are 250. Not massive amounts worldwide. But the thing as well is we don't have anywhere near that amount. We only have a small selection. But once they've gone, there's no guarantee you can bring it back.
Right.
It's not like making clothing or jewellery, where if it runs out, you get another lot, or cards or something, car care. Just make a new one. With this, it isn't. They have a limited availability, and once it's gone, that's finito. There are no more. Don't bring them back again.
Well, I mean, what more urgency could you need to get your hands on this one? Now, you click on the buy button, and clicking on the buy button, it will take you through a very easy-to-use system. If you're looking at the P&P thinking, well, I live in this part of the world, it will, once you click on buy, give you the options as to where you are living. Once you've checked out your basket, you'll then get a confirmation email, and then you can track your delivery, which is really nice as well. I think this is really, really stunning. I think it's a lovely gift idea. The gift for somebody that has everything, Gaz.
It is. I mean, what it's like. I've got friends, obviously I'm based in the UK. I mean, this channel's based in the UK. I've got a couple, I think. 1-0. Yeah. She told me she was going to be nice. It's because I asked her out for breakfast. She's not talking to me anymore. Anyway.
Should have given me extra bacon, that's what it was. Honestly.
That's another story. But anyway. But no, the thing is, as you say, they do make great gifts. And I know maybe if you've got friends living in other parts of the world, it's like, I've got friends living in posh places like Hong Kong and different places, Singapore. And how do you buy them something? You know what I mean? They've got like this wonderful life. Best thing is buy them something they can't get normally, and they love it.
Yeah, so do it. Right then, let me give you the item code and the details that you need. 100083, Ferrari Framed Gibraltar exclusive Ferrari pair of commemorative covers. That's very easy to say. £38.50 is your price. Just click on the buy button, check out your basket, and of course it will give you, it's very, very easy to navigate system. Shall we move on? Should we move on to the next item? How about Sir Stirling Moss? I mean, you can't talk about Formula One without talking about Sir Stirling Moss, often referred to as the greatest driver never to win the World Championship.
Yeah, he was an icon character back in, the 60s and stuff. He was a huge, huge influence, very, very, very popular. Still, fortunately, with us. We used to go to places like, Goodwood, Festival of Speed and everything. And he was passionate. The fans loved him. I had the pleasure of doing like a seminar thing with him once and speaking to him. And he's a really interesting guy, you know, so laid back. You would never know he was, well, I don't know what a racing driver's like, really, but he was a lovely man, really nice man, full of lots of stories. But the fans love him and cherish him. And at the end of the day, you have to ask, where would you go normally to get items like this? You can't just walk down the high street. You can't just walk down the local shopping mall. And to be frank, not many, if any, shopping channels anywhere are going to bring you items like this. As I say, when you buy them here, you've got all that background, the proof, the provenance, the... someoo's gone for a run.
He's had enough of you guys.
Someone's just entered the building, I think. Is that Elvis? Yeah, where's he gone? He's coming here. But yeah, basically, I've had enough of this, I'm going. Yeah, sorry. They always say that to me.
That you have
yeah, my effect, yeah.
But you were saying about, I mean, with Stirling Moss as well, I think he's so prolific, and actually being a mum of two, on Rory the racing car, he narrates on there, so you hear his voice.
Okay.
So, I mean, he's a broadcaster in his own right as well, isn't he?
He is, yeah. Yeah, he's done a lot of stuff. When he's retired, he became quite prolific for a while in public life and TV programmes and things. He's obviously not so much now, but it's a very old, very evocative sort of piece of nostalgia, really.
I just
and to get it personally signed, it's lovely,
It is a lovely piece, and I know we keep saying this, but it's that gift. If you think, well, somebody likes Formula One, maybe people like sort of vintage pieces. It's just got that real authenticity about it. Hasn't it?
Well, I believe you've got a passion for the vintage. I mean, I'm not talking about your men like me. I'm talking about clothing, innit?
I do. I love vintage. I think because they don't quite make things like they used to.
No. Well, I always used to say to my daughter and my son, they used to say, you can't go out like that. I say, listen, I'll be back in fashion. They went, if you live to be 300 years, maybe you will. And if it ever comes in fashion, it won't be in your size, darling.
If you stand still long enough, you're in fashion, aren't you?
Well, yes, basically. I used to be a fashion icon, but we won't go into that.
Oh no, we will later. Let me just bring it back. So Stirling Moss, the action photo, personally signed, and I just love this. It's just got that genuine look to it, hasn't it? And the price, £74.99. I mean, he's synonymous with Formula One.
You can't go wrong if you're building a collection, and I mean a lot of these people will be buying these. They'll be maybe putting them in a mount in a frame, hanging them on your favourite wall. Whether it's a business or a hotel,
nice
restaurant.
For a business,
but they look great. They turn heads as well.
Yes.
If you go in places like, you go in the Hard Rock Cafe, and you go in places like Sticky Fingers and stuff like that. They've all got these sort of collections on the wall. And there's also what's the other one? The Harley Davidson Cafe. They've all got loads and loads of memorabilia around the wall.
Yeah.
And they turn heads.
Conversation starter, isn't it? If you've got a bit of an awkward family get together.
Yeah. People are always impressed. Wow, is that signed by him? Wow, you get the wow syndrome. Even if they're posh.
You've got a real. This is our first time being together. You've got a real ability to go really high with your voice.
Oh, have I really?
I think
That's talking to our director.
Oh, is it? Yes, it just spreads, doesn't it?
Give me the earache,
Right then, let me give you the details that you need for this one. 100084. So Stirling Moss, action photo, personally signed, £74.99. Of course, you can see the P&P for the UK on screen. If you live somewhere else, internationally, wherever, once you click on the buy button, you can see all the relevant options that are referring to you and where you live. And then, of course, once you've checked out your basket, you'll get email confirmation, and then of course you can track your delivery. Should we move on? Let's move on. Now this is Lewis Hamilton's, what should we call him? Lewis Hamilton's rival, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's Nico Rosberg. It's an action photo, personally signed, $79.99. Now, I think he gets a little bit of a bad stick, really, Nico Rosberg, because basically he's incredible. He's an incredible driver.
Sure.
But because here in this country, everyone's like, Lewis. And, you've got to give him props. He's a very consistent driver. When he gets that clean air, he's very hard to touch.
Well, you're right, he's a great driver. I mean, inevitably, if you brief the press, which, sometimes elaborate these stories, but there appears to be an overzealous edge of competitiveness between them. But there should be.
Yes.
You know, they're both there to win. They're there to win. You know, you might be in the same team as someone. But if I was racing one of my mates and at the end of it there was a gold medal, if I couldn't win, I'd trip him up. And, you know, I'd do, you know, or I'd try. The trouble is with my foot, they might notice. I'd probably get disqualified. But, you know, you've got to have that edge. You want to win. And I respect him for that because, but yes, you're right. Certainly from a patriotic point of view, we see him as a bit of a, you know, it's, yeah.
But you know, he could win. He could be the world champion this year.
He could be, yeah.
He's doing
He won't be
very
invited
well.
to many garden parties in the UK, though, I don't think, do you?
Well, do you know, and I actually think, because it's the bit after they've raced and they go into the green room and they're putting their cap on and everything like that, and, you know, there was the incident with the cap where it was thrown and everything, and I think, like you say, they've got competitive spirit.
Sure.
And I always try and listen. He speaks 5 languages fluently.
I know, it's amazing.
That's amazing.
Isn't it?
Whoever's
It
in
is.
there, he can kind of turn the tongue.
Yeah, it's amazing. I used to work with a lady like that. She actually spoke 8 languages.
Did she?
And she used to say she could tell you where to go in 8 different languages. But and of course, yeah, I learnt that pretty quick, you know, because she told them all to me. But,
So
you know, no, but I mean, you say, you know, I can just about talk Cockney, English, and posh. That's about it.
Yeah,
know.
you can teach me some Cockney later. A bit of Cockney. We'll do that there.
There's a story. I remember I was told your nickname today, but I won't go into that.
Don't go into that just yet. There's time, there's time. But, you know, it might be that you want to have a wall of collectibles. You might want to have the Lewis Hamilton. You might want to have Sebastian Vettel. You know, sort of the modern-day heroes.
Of course.
This could be a nice addition.
It's a fabulous idea. To be honest, if you're building a collection, you want to mix. You want a mix of all the different people around. And as you say, you never know. The guy today that's 3rd or 4th, he moves to another team. And the great thing about Formula One, no disrespect to the drivers, but probably the most important is the car.
Yes, yeah.
You know, so probably any of the top 10 within reason. I mean, they would hate probably say, but I would guess if they moved around into the best car, they're going to be in the top 2 or 3.
Who knows? Who knows?
Who knows?
Should we give you the details in case you want to buy this one then? 100085. Nico Rosberg, action photo, personally signed. $79.99 is your price. All you've got to do is click on the buy button. It will take you through the system. Check your basket out. Only once you've done that, it is yours. And then, of course, you'll receive email confirmation and then you can track your delivery. Moving on then, more Formula One greats. Nico Hulkenberg, you can see here, action photo, personally signed. And this is a driver currently on the grid, isn't it? So we're talking about a current autograph.
Yeah, I believe this was actually signed. I mean, some of the people that these actually come from, which is, I'm not sure how they get there, but they're fortunate enough to actually get on the, you know, in the pits and the practice grids and all that. Because as times go on, you know, it's getting increasingly difficult for many reasons. And you hit the nail on the head earlier about the fact they're on the move. They're very difficult to get near the Formula One drivers, certainly in the season, you know. So if you're fortunate enough to have someone who can get you close to the action, you're very lucky. But then again, you imagine they've raced a Grand Prix and they're battling, they come 3rd or 4th, and you come up and say, "Excuse me, can you have an autograph?" I should imagine they'd tell you where to go.
Yeah, because they're
still winding down.
Moment.
You're like,
Yeah.
you know. Like,
Yes, you must have. Do you have like a very small window in which to get these autographs?
that's right, you do with a lot of them, and that's why it's so difficult. When you see, you go around the internet on those famous sites, you check things out, and sadly, so much of them are full of fakes. You know, it really are. They're full of fakes.
Yes.
And that's the key thing. You know, that's the first question. I mean, I always say, I'm a bit like someone say I'm like an old woman. You know, but I always say to them, if you buy a collectible, check the background. You know, how do I know he signed that? How do I know she signed it? And the more proof and the more provenance you've got can add 25% to the value.
So how do we know that he has signed that then?
Well, most of the items within this hour and all the collectible shows we do, they come and they originate from people like myself or members of the UACC and the AFTAL, who are the top 2 autograph trading stations in the world. They actually get pulled in to authenticate autographs for the police, the trading standards, you know, all sorts of levels, and even for other major auction houses.
Really?
They're considered the specialists in the industry. So if you walked into Christie's, Sotheby's or Bonham's with a certificate of authenticity for this channel with our name or with the AFTAL and all that, they would recognise that, oh fine, that would be it.
That's
you couldn't have a
definitely
I don't mean to be
genuine.
smug. You couldn't have a higher level.
So
you know.
what have you had to go through in your career to get to that level then?
Beg, not steal, borrow, but you know.
Yeah.
No, the key thing is, obviously I've been doing it a long time, but you've got to be so cautious who you deal with. I don't suppose, to be honest, there's 6 people in the world that I would go out and buy something off without knowing who they are or what they know. So it's fortunately over a period of time, they know what you want, they come to you.
You've got a reputation now. Sometimes
I thought you were going to tell anyone.
No, I'm joking,
Not
but you
true.
have a really good reputation where it comes to collectibles.
Well, basically, what you see is what you get, and people know that I've been involved in it a long, long time, and I do care immensely. You know, I tried to cut out all the robbers and the fakers and all these wicked things, but obviously, you know, the main thing is, as I always say, like if you buy a house, you get a survey. You buy a car, you do a service history. You buy a dog or a horse, you check the pedigree. It's just the same with this.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, obviously, you don't need to buy them here, but the thing about buying them here is you don't have to worry. 100% genuine.
That's lovely. There's
and all
enough
the
to
proof
worry
is
about.
there, you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
And even if you've never bought one of these sort of items before and you buy it for the first time for a gift, keep all the paperwork, everything you get, put it away, and come the day that somebody may want to move it on, that will add 20 to 25% to the value.
So there you go, you heard it from Gaz, he knows what he's talking about. Nico Hulkenberg here, the action photo personally signed, 100086, $79.99 is your price. Of course, click on the buy button, check out your basket, that's very important. Now, somebody could literally swipe it and you'll think, oh, I just went off for a cup of tea. Don't do that, do not. Just check your basket out and then you'll get an email confirmation, and then of course you can track your delivery. Should we move on to more Formula One? Now, this is possibly one of the greatest Formula One drivers of all time. It's Michael Schumacher.
Well, sadly, with this particular item, obviously, we've had to keep this. This is actually on display at the moment in the studio. So we've not actually got it here with us. But this is like the holy grail of Formula One collectibles. I mean, we all know the sad situation with Michael Schumacher. You know, it's been a tragedy. But of course, being blunt, where on earth would you go to get something to replace this? The value of Michael Schumacher's autograph has absolutely soared since his accident. Because obviously, not being blunt, he's unlikely to sign anymore, is he?
Yeah.
You know, but he's a very, very respected driver. Great champion. It is this is framed and mounted, ready. It's a big piece. You're talking about probably 3 foot by 2 foot. It's a big item. It's as big as like
a standalone on a wall.
It's a standalone on a wall piece that's going to turn heads, and it is the image. I think we're going to go close again in a minute. The image, actually, that's the piece where it's actually signed.
Wow.
That's not a print. It's not a copy, it's personally signed, as are all the items in this hour. When we say signed, they are personally signed. So the relevant driver's held that in his hand and personally signed it. With this, we can even tell you where it was signed and when it was signed. But if you put that in a charity auction environment, you could put a 1 in front of that.
Really? I mean,
Easy.
Just to give you an idea why he is so loved, he's 7 times been the world champion, dominated the sport, 91 wins and 155 podiums.
I know, it's amazing, isn't it? He was an immense talent. Again, you know, we used to joke that if he was English, as an English person, if he was English, we'd love him, but because he's German, we respect him, you know. But he's a great driver, fabulous driver, and what a tragedy, you know. But that's, if anything, I hate to say it, that's driving the price of his signature upwards.
Right.
Because obviously, you know, poor fella, you aren't going to be able to get any more. And there's a huge demand for items like this worldwide. One of those right at the top of the list, everybody wants, is Michael Schumacher.
Oh, well, there you have it. £759.95 for a legend here. Michael Schumacher, framed and mounted photo montage, personally signed, 100087 here on totallyshopping.tv. All you've got to do if you want it is click the buy button. It will take you through the system. If you're looking at the screen, it's got the P&P and you're thinking, well, I live in this part of the world. It will give you the option for the part of the world in which you live in, delivery-wise. And once you've checked out your basket, you'll get an email email confirmation, and then you can even track your delivery, which is brilliant. So let's move on then. Should we do some more Lewis Hamilton? Now, I can imagine to get a shirt signed by your hero is amazing. You know, if you've got sort of a son that's really into it, or a grandson that's really into Formula One, particularly Lewis Hamilton, he is the personality of the sport, really.
Well, that's right. To get a shirt like that, I don't actually know how you would normally go and get that. This came, if you were lucky enough to be there at the pitch, you know, with a nice, pretty face you've got. I mean, there's a good chance you get it, but you know what I mean? There's no chance. It's something that's almost impossible to get, you know? It's almost impossible to get. It really is. Yeah, I've tried with my pretty face and I don't tell where to go, you know. And if they do say all right, then it's the sort of person I probably don't want to talk to anyway.
Have you met him, Gaz?
No, I've never met Lewis Hamilton. I've been at an event once where he was due, but I didn't get the pleasure. But Nicole Scherzinger there, so I was actually even happier.
Oh, you met Nicole?
Briefly, yeah. She was lovely, you know.
Why did he let her go? I mean, he's known to be with all these different models. There's sort of Barbara, now there's Minnie, and it's just endless.
I'd hate his life, wouldn't you?
Do you want to know his net worth?
Yeah.
88 million.
Really?
I don't know what they find attractive in him at all. It must be his personality, maybe.
Well, I've got 88 pence, so maybe that's why, you know. Yeah. I'm still a darling, though,
You are a darling. I would pay for your autograph. And in terms of this shirt, how would you display this then, Gaz? What would you do with
You've got to get that. It's got to be pride of place, you know. I mean, that is, again, don't make the mistake of thinking that's printed. That is signed by hand by Lewis Hamilton. Once again, the certificate and the paperwork that comes with it will tell you exactly when that was signed and where. So that really does make it far, far more attractive to a serious collector. But I'd take that away. I'd have it mounted and framed and hang it again in a place it's going to turn heads.
Oh, yeah, it's a conversation starter, isn't it? And I think just to have something, because you see programmes like Posh Porn and other sort of porn programmes on the telly, PAWN, you see on the programmes that they have pieces and they'll say, well, have you got the letter of authentication? Oh, I can't even say authentication. And they say, oh, no, I don't have that. Yeah. And then the value goes down because they can't see that it's genuine.
That's right. Then they bring it without being smug to guys like me and they go, what do you think? And you go, well, it looks all right, but where'd it come from? How'd they get it? You know, I mean, somebody a little while ago said to me, I was doing something for one of the famous BBC shows, you know, and they said to me, do you know where this came, you know, and it was Beatles autographs.
Right.
And I said, where'd it come from?
We need your autograph.
Oh, yeah.
Did you get his autograph?
You wouldn't, you wouldn't get much for mine, that's for sure, you know. I'd rather give me phone number. I don't get much for that either, apart from no thanks. But seriously, there's these Beatles autographs, and little knowledge is a dangerous thing, but basically they used to be known, or allegedly used to sign for each other in turns.
Oh,
so you would have one genuine autograph and three that aren't right. And Sir Paul McCartney was left-handed, so somebody brought these autographs along, and I said, like, if you watch celebrities signing outside a premiere or something, if you're right-handed, they either go straight across or they go down like that because they're right-handed, going around signing for them. If you're left-handed, you go differently, going that way. So this particular set of autographs was 4 going that way. So I said, well, they're probably signed by Sir Paul McCartney. And they went, oh, OK, fine. But they bought them from a very high-profile auction house, massive name.
Right.
I daren't say who it was because I'd be dead. But they'd made the mistake as well. They thought they were genuine, but it's so easy to make that mistake. And you've got to look at them, you've got to research it, you've got to do your homework. But certain little things like that, you know, you get a tip and you can think, well, the left-hand one looks right, probably he signed it, you know, but the other 3 aren't right. Very rarely do they sign for each other, allegedly. You know.
See, the knowledge that he has, this is why you can see, choose and enjoy with Totally Shopping TV. Shall I give you all the details that you need on this shirt then? The Formula One shirt, double signed by Lewis Hamilton. So he signed it, has he, on the back and the front? Fabulous. 100089, £299.99. All you've got to do is click on the buy button, follow through the easy process, and then, of course, check out your basket. As simple as that. Shall we move on?
So you've always been a Formula One fan yourself, though, haven't you?
Do you know, I was quite late to the game, actually, but I think I quite like Martin Brundle's commentary on the grid. I like seeing who's on the grid. I enjoy seeing who stops to talk to him and who doesn't, so you get the kind of behind-the-scenes thing.
Sure.
And actually, now I know a bit more science about sort of the tyres and how you can best use the tyres and just managing the tyres. You see how difficult it is, not just getting in the car and driving it. There's so much more to it. So we'll move on now to the next item. I think we're going to do a bit of Ricardo next.
Yeah. So it's like, he looks like he should be doing the salsa or somebody, doesn't he? With that.
Oh, we're going to do Kimi Raikkonen next, are we?
Kimi Raikkonen.
Raikkonen next. And I think he's in the car, isn't he? Just down there.
Gives you little clues coming up next, though, doesn't it? Yeah, it gives you clues coming up next.
And Ferrari.
Yeah. Well, again, just because it's Ferrari, there'll be a lot of collectors that will just buy that because he is a Ferrari driver. Because he is, anyone. I mean, Ferrari is massive. And again, as we were talking earlier, when you talk about Ferrari, it's huge name and a brand. And everybody wants everything they get their hands on to do with a brand. And again, here you've got one of their drivers, signed item, great price for it. Where would you go to get that normally? Again, where would you can buy it here, but it's 100% genuine. Sit at home, enjoy the show, the time that suits you, because it's on that, catch-up service. And as I say, Ferrari, massive. And lots of people will buy that purely because it's a Ferrari-driven car.
Indeed. And I was going to say that he's won, of course, he's a one-time world champion in 2007 when he actually beat Hamilton and Alonso. So in his own right, incredibly skilled. And I think, like you always say, it's not just about the driver and their competence, because they're all incredible drivers. I mean, let's be honest, if you or I got put in that car, would we know what to do? Probably,
well, I wouldn't get in it. I wouldn't get me in it.
I wouldn't fit in it.
I wouldn't get in it. Go, are you sure?
But let's not take anything away from that. But like you say with Ferrari, it's a brand in its own right, isn't it? Massive brand. It really is. It's huge. And I mean, talking about yourself, you're out and about doing all these celebrity occasions, aren't you? It's big news, this one. Big news, you're picking me up.
You're working, aren't you, behind the scenes of BBC, I've met Tony Hadley myself. He's all right.
He's very nice, isn't he? Really, really friendly. But we're digressing here, because we don't have Tony Hadley's autograph.
Tell me about your career,
Well, yeah, I do. I go around with the BBC in the morning, breakfast shows and things like that. It is fun. It is fun on BBC Berkshire, if you want to have a listen, if you're in that area. But, I have to make my voice sound very posh. But
so they'd love me on there, wouldn't I?
I'm sure.
Hello, darling. Let's go. Here we go. Go on it. Radio Box. Here we are.
We'll get you on.
Out the door.
We'll get you on one day. It'll be brilliant. But I mean, going back to this, when you've got the collectibles like this, what would you do with them? Would you leave them as is and let somebody frame it or what have you? Or
personally, I would get that. I mean, the reason, obviously, because this is an international environment and they could be going all over the world. One of the problems with framed items, if they're already framed, leave them framed.
Right. Okay.
If they're not, they're much easier to transport around. And, without getting damaged, because you don't want to send that to, say it's going from Britain to, it might be going to Japan or wherever. It's going through a lot of hands and a lot of processes to get it. If it gets damaged, it could cut and wreck the piece.
Right.
So often we sell them unframed. Obviously, it keeps them a bit more competitive on the price, but basically do what you want with it. But I would advise people to frame and mount that, hang it in a place. If you've not bought one before, hang it in a place out of direct sunlight, things like that, and look after it. These are signed nowadays. They're signed in permanent marker anyway, generally, so the signature doesn't fade. But years ago, like if you'd have bought a Laurel and Hardy or a Frank Sinatra or an Elvis, they're signed in biro or even worse, pencil. You put it in a frame, it fades.
That would be awful, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you could pay several £1,000s and it would fade. Put it in somewhere direct sunlight on it. 5 years from now, the signature would have faded considerably.
Oh, how annoyed would you be?
Yeah. So the choice is yours. You hang it, put it where you want. But, I would hang it in pride of place in your home or your office or your den or your business. But do not generally hang them where they've got direct sunlight on them.
Okay,
it isn't
so
going to affect them so much now because the signature's a permanent marker.
Right.
But even the picture can slightly fade over a
Oh,
period
right,
of
so we
time.
must take heed from that then. I'll give you the item code. It's 100090. It's the Kimi Räikkönen action photo, personally signed. If you know someone that loves Ferrari, certainly a gift for them. Signed and everything by him. $79.99 is your price, of course. If you want this, click on the buy button and then make sure you check your basket out because only then will it be yours. And then you'll get the email confirmation. And then, of course, you can track your delivery, which is a brilliant thing to do. Finally, though, is this our last one? Oh, no, we've got 2 more to go now, but we're going to see a little bit of, you know, this is one of my favourite drivers, Daniel Ricciardo, Australian, and he's so down to earth.
Yeah.
Very rarely do you see him looking miserable. I think I've seen him looking miserable when he felt hard done by because they told him to come in and pit and he didn't want to pit.
Yeah.
But generally he seems very sort of upbeat, very sort of, you know, mild-mannered.
Well, I suppose, you know, I know a lot of Aussie rugby players and they're always good fun. I mean, they obviously, when they're playing sport, again, they have that hard edge, that competitive edge. But I've always thought Australians, great fun. You know, they know how to party, they know how to have fun.
Yeah.
And as you say, he just seems basically a nice guy, appreciates his fans and things like that. But I've never met him. But I would imagine he'd be a good guy to go out for a beer with.
Oh,
and I mean,
yes.
that's a compliment.
We should organise that. You know,
Yeah.
if you're watching,
Yeah, if you're
Daniel,
watching.
we'd love to go out for a little drink if you want to.
Yeah. I can
That'd be
teach you a
good.
few places.
The thing is, you'd be handing out sort of shirts for him to sign. He might be able to relax.
No, only a couple, only a few, I promise. You know.
So with somebody, does the personality add to the value of something or not? It's purely the performance of the driver or the sportsman.
I suppose the performance is the top ingredient, but in any collectibles, if you're someone who's particularly loved for their, you know, for being a nice guy, or a nice lady, or something, if you're known, and sometimes it's unfairly projected. People tell me who do like those reality shows where you go, all right, I'll say it like Big Brother. You go in there, and I know lots of people who've been on Big Brother, celebrity
What celebrity?
ones and stuff.
Who do you know?
Oh, I know quite a few.
Has David Dickinson
been
on there? He hasn't.
I don't think he has. No, but I know
do you
quite
know,
a few, and in the jungle as well. No one's been in the jungle. But when you think about it, they're in there 24 hours a day,
Yes.
7 days a week, and it's edited to an hour's TV. The people who, dare I say, tend to lead the people into how they project is the editors. And
Yes.
the directors,
Yeah.
because you could be an absolute darling in there for 23 hours a day,
And you have a bad
and then suddenly
minute.
you have a ruck with you, and I'm portrayed as a right miserable pig.
Yeah.
You know, so it's how you project it, I think. You
Wait,
know.
who are you? Tell me who you know that's gone in there. Come on, you can't just put that out there.
Daniel's like, who's he talking about?
Who are you talking about? Who are you talking about? Can you give us the first name?
Vicky Michelle, right? She's a darling. Vicky
Oh,
Michelle, who used to be in
from
Hello,
Hello,
Hello.
Hello. Oh, she's
one of the
beautiful.
loveliest, nicest people you'd ever meet.
Yes.
But she never stops talking, more than me even, you know. Well, she has to battle, but she's, when she was on, in my opinion, when she was in the jungle, she always seemed quiet and all that. And when he spoke to her after, she said, I talk all the time. And she's an organiser. She's very well organised, very professional businesswoman as well. But she's lovely. She's always got plenty of time. And she'll be like very mumsy, we do this, do the washing up. And she looked like I sat in the corner and did nothing and moaned.
It's funny, they can manipulate. So personality then is something which maybe
I said
doesn't.
that, not her one. She didn't complain.
Did it?
In case
No,
they watched
she
it.
seemed lovely.
But I did. That's the way they put across.
Shall I give the details of this?
Yeah,
one,
go on,
then?
you better
Give
not.
the detail. I better do that. Daniel Ricciardo, action photo, personally signed. 100091 is your item code. $79.99 is your price, and of course you can click on the buy button. Such a happy picture of him there, looking
It
all
is. It
joyous and
looks like-
celebratory.
How you doing, Anushka? Let's go boogie, look.
Yeah! So then, should we move on? I think we've got one last piece now for you. I think we're looking at Felipe Massa. The Brazilian there, action photo, personally signed. And what would you say about that photo? He's looking sort of quite pensive.
He looks a bit like Wayne Rooney, I was thinking for a minute.
suppose he does a little bit there.
Maybe that's me being, I don't mean to be rude, or Wayne Rooney's a great guy anyway, but no, I just looked at him and thought, Jesus, Wayne
It's
Rooney.
not Wayne.
No,
it
it's
is
not
Felipe
Wayne.
Massa,
No.
I think, the last time I looked.
Yeah, you're right. But again, yeah, he's just didn't do as well as he thought. They got him just, you know.
But do you know what? I quite like that, Gaz. Because
Yeah.
it's basically, sometimes it's that moment that makes it an event. Because you see so many pictures of celebrities smiling and the photo phase, whereas to capture that moment, actually without the autograph, is quite nice, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's just, you know, everybody's different. I mean, the other thing as well with celebrities and sports stars, I mean, you know as well as I do, you know, the problem is that everybody's different.
Yes.
Some love talking to people,
Yes.
others are a bit shy, you know, and they're all different. And just because they're on the screen or they're top footballers outgoing, they're not necessarily outgoing. You know, some of the top sportsmen, again, by nature, are probably quietly shy, or a little bit introvert. Others can't stop them talking.
Yeah,
you know.
particularly Formula One, there don't seem to be as many sort of personalities. Maybe I'm wrong in saying that, but a lot of them keep themselves to themselves.
Yeah.
And there's like Nico Rosberg is not known for being a talker, whereas Lewis Hamilton is kind of out there, you know, going to all the parties and everything.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I suppose it is that. But again, Formula One is such a concentrated environment.
Yes.
I should imagine by the time they're finished and unwound and, you know, showered and spoken to the fans and the sponsors and the team, they're just about ready to chill out and disappear. So they probably don't want to go and party because they're so intense, the pressure. You know, it's that fine line, isn't it?
It is.
They probably, that's why I think probably most of them aren't particularly known for going out for a boogie.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I mean, he, like Lewis Hamilton as well, he started doing karting when he was 8. So they seem to have this. I remember this this bit of video, I think it was Blue Peter, and Lewis Hamilton was on Blue Peter.
Yeah.
So he was doing a remote control car, and he said, you know, I want to be a Formula One driver. And you thought from that age, he knew. Not like the rest of us sort of trying different jobs left, right and centre.
Of course.
They're so focused, aren't they?
I know, and I always admire that quality in someone. I mean, I was the same, you know, what do you want to do? I'm not sure, you know, I don't have a clue really, you know, but all I wanted to do was enjoy life and manage to pay my bills and skip along as I did it, you know, and whatever that may do. My skipping's not too good.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
Stand up and give
it's a bit like Harry the Hippo, it measures about 4 on the Richter scale, I tell you. We won't go into that. But not literally, but no, I think it's... you know, it is. You do. Most people drift around. They're not sure what they want to do, you know. I remember when I was at school and the old headmaster said to me, what do you want to do when you leave school? I said, I want to be a journalist. Don't be stupid, you know. Get a career in this is the police force, this is insurance, you know. So I did insurance. I mean, again, my mum said, no, you should get a proper job, darling, you know. So I got a job in insurance and then I hated it. Unfortunately, they were closing the business down. It wasn't my fault. After about a year,
What did he do?
So I had enough money to disappear for 6 months, so it was all right. So I went travelling. You know.
I love this. We're learning Gaz's life story. There is maybe a book coming
Keep it
out.
secret, don't tell anyone.
Shall I give you the details that you need then? We're wrapping up the Formula One hour. So for me, Felipe Massa, action photo, personally signed. The item code that you need, 100092 here at totallyshopping.tv. Now, the way that you buy it, it's very, very simple. All you've got to do is click the buy button on the screen. It will take you through all of the options. It's very, very easy to navigate your way around this. And also, if you're looking at the P&P thinking, well, I don't live in the UK, how is that relevant to me? When you click on the buy button, it will give you all of the options you need, so you get the relevant one. Once you've checked out your basket, and only once you've taken the item out of your basket and actually paid for it, is it yours. And you don't want somebody swiping it and go around on the phone.
That's right.
See, I'll tell everyone I got this autograph, and then it's gone.
You'd be sad if you miss it.
You would be very sad if you miss it. So check your basket out. Once you've done that, you get your email confirmation, which is brilliant. And then you can also track your delivery, which I love.
That's a great idea, yeah.
Isn't it?
That's right. There's nothing better, is there? And especially if it's an international environment, you want to know, didn't you? Certain countries will get to quicker.
Well, it gives you peace of mind, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, I mean, what you're getting from us, you're getting genuine collectibles, which are authenticated, aren't they, Gaz? We like that.
That's right. They're all authenticated. You'll know that they are. You can buy, basically, by safe in their knowledge, you know, they're 100% 100% genuine, and all that information is tracked together with certificate of authenticity, the lifetime guarantee. So whatever you do with it, keep all that paperwork, because certainly in the years to come, if you do ever want to get rid of it, it will add to the value.
Yeah, do remember it. Keep it together. We've seen all the programmes and Gaz has told us. So Totally Shopping TV, the unique internet shopping experience, we like to think. The home where basically you can see, choose and enjoy. So I hope you've enjoyed your Formula One. If you've missed something, all you've got to do is go on Catch Up and you can watch it there.